Hey, it's Dan here, and I bet you can't guess what we're making today. Yeah, we're gonna add the details onto the vest. So we made the vest, the belt, but it was missing these details, this detail, and the neck guard. So we're gonna get into that right now. Alright, so there are two different back styles. So we got one that has this sort of narrow part, and we have one that has that narrow part that looks slightly different, and then it has these wider panels. So I might make two neck guards, I might just make one. I'm probably going to make this one first because I'm making the one after he lands in Wakanda, so this is the one that I'm making. But since I'm going to have a cape that I might not want to wear, I'm going to probably make this one too, just so I can have this look more movie accurate when there's no cape. Welcome to my lovely workspace. So I made some patterns. These patterns are going to be what you saw. Okay, so I have these patterns drawn out. This one's already cut out. I'm going to flip it over to this. As you can see, it says 3mm. So let's trace this. Now we cut it out. Make sure you keep your knife up and down perfectly 90 degrees for these cuts, and it will be smooth if you do it right. Just thought I was recording this entire thing. So I put glue on these lines, and I was telling you that we're using large contact cement. I put it on here, let it dry for a couple minutes, and we're lining up this bottom edge with here. And if we have any excess contact cement on here, it'll wipe off easily with acetone once we're done. Like, there's a little bit there, but that'll wipe off just fine. So let's go to the bottom line. We're going to wipe this with acetone once it's fully dry to get rid of the excess, and that's the back shoulder piece. So these are the shoulders, and that's the back. We're going to do heat forming. So I have his original pattern here, Sean's. I'm drawing lines on it, and this is the new outside edge. These are some details. As you can see, it has the border, the extra piece, the line, the lots of lines, the gap, the outside edge, the border, the line, the other line, all those, the gap. So like this original pattern says, that's a little different, even though I cut some off. Cut outward angle along this line. So this line's going to be cut at an outward angle, so that way when this is wrapped around, it's going to mate up perfectly with the other piece, so it lines up and points up instead of like weird angles. So let's get to cutting this out. Normal line, outward angle. Hey, yeah, look at that. Really smooth cut. Yeah. Nice smooth cut. A little wobble here. We'll get that sanded out. So I drew lines on this that better match the lines that are right there. I'm going to add the details like those pieces on after I wrap it around, so when the glue is on, it's going to make it so it doesn't want to stretch back out. Oh yeah, I'm going to take a knife and score these lines very shallowly. Use the heat gun to open them up so they, when the foam expands, you'll see. So I scored in all these lines. If you can guess in the comments below how many I'd scored, you get to win the satisfaction of guessing. And I stopped the cuts about right here, so I didn't want to see cuts exploding out of the top of this at the very top, even though there's going to be a piece up here. I just want the glue seam to look good. Yeah, so the lines opened up. You see how the lines more. See how the lines are more pronounced. Yay. Now I'm going to use contact cement to glue these pieces together. I got hatch marks in here. This lines up with this. These lines line up with all these other hatch marks. Yay. Oh, okay, so now we push it all back really tight. And yeah. Once this is all super dry, we're going to heat form it so everything works well. So we're going to heat form these edges down and this back down. So it's just temporarily tapes down because everything's still drying. But look at that. That looks so cool. So this is all going to be heat formed, not be so trying to expand out. Yeah. The collar I'm going to just fold up a little bit so that's looking good. So we're going to glue on the accent pieces, and that's the next step. For this piece I had to go diagonal across the foam because this length wasn't long enough. And this is going to wrap around the top part of this, so it's going to wrap from here all the way around there. It's going to go all the way along there. Well, that went on surprisingly easily. So yeah, there's the first accent line. Yay, first accent line. So I just got the last details on. There's 2 layers here. And it goes around. So I got that sorted out. I'm going to let all this dry overnight, and then I'm going to heat form it all. I just glued on the first accent piece for the back of this. And I'm going to glue on some more panels. Yeah, so I cut out these 2 pieces. This one's going right here. It's gonna fold around, and you get it. Well, that was an exercise in how curves actually stretch stuff on the outside and get bigger, because this piece, when you start here, goes all the way down to here. Oh, would you look at that? It's missing some pieces. Oh no. So I had to go back and add some stuff to here to make this bigger, and add some stuff to there to make that longer. So we're going to start gluing from the bottom. Now we're here. So as you can see, if I line this up, that goes up to the top now. Then when you move this around, it lines up over here too. Awesome. And I just realized that this piece is supposed to go above that piece, so I have to take this totally off using acetone or something, or a knife, I don't really know. So I'm gonna have to take this off. Yay, it came off. So I just very carefully was pulling out a corner and had a rag with acetone in it, wiping until this came off. You can do that to remove contact cement, but you have to be very careful. And now I'm going to wipe all this contact cement off with acetone, glue on the actual piece that's supposed to go there, then recut this and put that on. Nice and clean. So now we're going to glue on the actual pieces. All right, let's attach it. A little long. Just trim it off. Don't worry about it. Yay. Okay, so let's do that to all the layers. So we're going to do one more, put the thing on, and put the other 2 on, and we'll come back after that. Yay, here are all the final foam pieces. So we have the 3 foam layers. I'm going to have another layer of leather underneath it for structural support. All this goes around. We got all the accents. I'm going to clean all this, plasti dip it, and attach it to the leather. And then that should be it. So be sure to take a rag or something soaked in acetone and rub down all the seams, so that way you get rid of all the excess glue that was on top. So there used to be glue just like covering all the spots that were overran where the brush like went past, and acetone does a really good job of taking contact cement off of the layer. so I have some rough Velcro sewn on to some of the pleather. I'm going to take some super glue, and as you can see, these 3 have already been glued on. It's glued on right here. Just make sure it's not too thick, so you don't want it to drip out too much. I did the rough one on this side because the other piece moves a lot more, and I don't want rough Velcro rubbing against this and ruining it. But on the inside of that, if this rubs against that, it will be fine. So soft Velcro won't abrade this as much as this will. So I just put these other half of the Velcro on. I'm going to super glue these to this after I place it, but just barely super glue it. So that way when I take this off, I can trace around where they go, and then actually use contact cement to secure them like I did with these two. Then I'm going to use hot glue on the edges, outside edges of everything, just to keep all the edges down like I did on the Batman, which you can see in my videos. So that's lined up perfectly. I'm gonna try to peel it off with the Velcro sticking to this, but if it doesn't come off, I put the glue on in a way that I can see where it's going to go. But as you can see, there's glue marking exactly where it goes. Perfect. Alright, so I just placed it back on there. I'm going to trace it with a pin, dry the super glue off, and contact cement these on. So I super glued around each of those, so let's attach it in the right spots. And that's how the front's going to be attached. The cape's going to be pulling this down, so that's going to be fine. We are now making collared pieces that go behind here and look like roughly like that. There's going to be 2 swoops. So we have this neoprene stuff. I think it's neoprene. Well, it looks like it. I got it from a car cover, and we're taking super glue, folding it down over this edge, gluing it on so that way this doesn't fray and it looks nice. Here's the final one. This one's going on this side, and this side would be going on the other side, but I accidentally traced it wrong, so I'm just going to show you on this one what we're doing. So we put the super glue in here just a little bit, then we fold it to the really hard line to see. So fold it there, just pinch, then continue on down, down, down until the entire thing's folded properly. Then we're going to super glue it in because this glues really well to foam and also glues pretty well to this stuff. So I just super glued them on. There they are. That's the 2 pieces. Looking good. Alright, so now we're going to add things that go here. Yay! So we have this accent done now. We're going to show you on this side how I made it. And I started with upholstery foam that measures about the same length as this circle. So I'm going to take this square of it and cut it into an octagonal extrusion. So I just cut the corners off and then make the ends a little thinner because it's thicker up here, thinner down here. I'm going to fold it in a circle, so this is going to be the middle piece. The ends are going to be glued together. Yeah, so let's just cut these corners. Yeah, so here it is. We're going to take some glue it together, and then you can see that, well, you're probably not able to see, but it's a little narrower here. But with the way I'm wrapping it, it's going to compress it anyway, so I can make it as thick as I want because it compresses a lot. So let's glue it up. Sure, we'll let that dry, then we stick them together as contact cement. Woo! Yeah, so here it is glued up. We're going to start at the bottom and go up because what it looks like on the actual screen one is that there's one layer wrapped around and then there's another layer wrapped all the way around here. So there's like a smaller layer here and then a larger layer wrapped around here. At least it's really hard to tell because it is very few times where they show Thor's armpit in the movie. So we're going to just do from what I am assuming I see. Wrap the bottom and then wrap the top. And we're using super glue and we're making sure there's going to be a wrap like this. And there's going to be a flap hanging out. This flap on the inside is going to glue on the inside of the arm hole. As you can see, we just take some of this, wrap it around, put some super glue, pinch it to the right size, and then hold it. It takes under 30 seconds, but I go to about 30 seconds, and then I move over and go all the way around. So I'm going to do the bottom half, the skinnier part, and then for the full piece on top, use this one. I'm making it so that the blue flap is on the inside. It's going to wrap around and glue in. So like, let's say this is the inside of the vest, that's the outside. So this is going to glue like that to the inside of the vest. Yeah, so that's what we do all the way around. So what we have here sort of looks like a mess. That's okay, because it will all glue in just fine. What we did first to get these lines in here, I was trying to think of how to do this with this material, and what I'm going to do is line these up first to get the lines in the right spot, and then I drew corresponding lines, because when you spin this around, those are going to line up perfectly with that if I get this centered. Okay, so what I'm taking is some scrap of this stuff, peeling this layer off and cutting this into small strips and gluing it in onto these lines, and then pulling it around, gluing it to that side while it's twisted, so that way it's like a little string of the same material, and that makes an indentation just like the actual one. Close enough. It's the best I can do with what this stuff is. It looks like they used like some sort of sculpted thing that was covered in some sort of cloth, or I'm not really sure how they did it, but it's a lot more in depth than I'm capable of right now. So we're going to do that. We're going to wrap these strings around, glue them on, glue to one side, twist and pull. It's a very crease. Line this up with it. And then I pinch this. All right, pinch. 20 seconds is enough. Then you see, I pull this around and it looks like a nice rope. While holding it, I go to the inside, put some glue right there, push down sometimes with a flat piece of metal. You want to do it very temporarily because you don't want to glue the metal or your skin, definitely not your skin to it. And it holds, and then you cut off the excess. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to glue this in by starting at the top, wrapping it around, putting glue right here, holding it for 30 seconds, gluing right here, holding that for 30 seconds, and all the way around. Yay! There it is. The rings. They look great. So one last thing, we're going to actually add down here a little bit of Velcro for the belt so it doesn't fall off. You don't really need to know about that. You know how to add Velcro to stuff. I'm just going to glue both sides and just make it so the belt doesn't slide around when I'm wearing it, because sometimes when I'm wearing it, it can go down or left or right. I'm just gonna do that. That's the last step for all this, and then we got the pants to work on, or the cape. One of the two. I don't know which one. So let's put this on and see what it looks like. Hey, yeah, so here it is. Yeah, so this is the top minus the cape, all finished. Woo. I mean, I'm no Chris Hemsworth, but I still got some muscles, you know? Yeah, so we made all these details and finished up the entire top minus the cape. We did it with neoprene foam for these parts, and we did it with EVA foam for this top part, and we also used upholstery foam inside this. Yeah, so we got all that done, and if you want to help out this channel, you can check out my Patreon, linked below. And the Patreon, you're going to be able to see a lot of benefits, like stuff like this. that was a name going by. They're one of my patrons. They help fund this channel, and they get paid to have their name on there. Now it's off. Alright, so you can also have me verbally say your name out loud, but one of the cooler things I think is if you subscribe to the $3 per month, which is really cheap in my opinion, you'll be able to see my videos early, and when you see them early, you'll be able to comment on them, tell me something you think that doesn't make sense, or just like, hey Dan, this is really cool, keep it up. Then you'll be able to potentially make it so I can change something in that video before it goes live for everyone else. Yeah, it makes sense to me, right? Okay, so if you want to see some of my other stuff, you can subscribe right here. And if you subscribe, you'll be able to see all these videos, and you don't even need to use Patreon. Or you could check one of my other videos over here, something that I'm making or building, or maybe even parkour, foam, wood, plastic, or more. So, as far as the Thor build goes, the top minus the cape is completely done. Be sure to check out all my other Thor video builds, and we'll see you next time.